It is that time of the night. Hi, I am Serge Brown, and of course, welcome to the Clear Skies Movement Live, TCSM Live. Well, it has been a wonderful day.
What am I, chopped liver?
Well, I was just going to say, because my sweet Dawn has been babying me all day, and how do you not love that? Say hello to everyone, Dawn.
Good evening, all.
And I am hearing an echo somewhere. Is that me?
Oh, no, it's probably me. There we go, it's gone.
Perfect. There we go. Now everybody won't be, it's all over the internet. So who is here with us tonight, babe? I forgot. Oh, first of all, I need to apologize. I forgot to post a notice that I'm going live, just because it's been a busy day. So, I just didn't get it out, and my apologies.
Answering all the happy birthdays, which I told him he could do tomorrow, but that would be rude, he said.
That would be rude, exactly. People take their time out of their day to wish me a happy birthday. I can say thank you very much, and I really, truly do appreciate it.
Well, it's just people getting in, human being, Christy, Sue Pear, Pat.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Christine. Hi, human being. Did you say Christine or Christy?
Christy.
Hi, Chris. Oh, of course. Christy, how are we doing tonight? Don't know who hi, Sue. Did I say hi to Sue already?
Yeah.
A spirit hat.
I don't see that one. You're ahead of me, though.
Yeah, I see a new spirit hat. Welcome. Well, welcome to the show tonight.
Cool.
It is always lively in the chat, and I am, first of all, how did you guys like last night's show? Was any of that information kind of an eye-opening experience for anyone?
Yeah,
and then
it was for me.
Tonight, we're going to talk about melting clouds. I think it's something we need to start really discussing. So, I'm just going to get to it. What do you think? Should I just get to it, babe?
Get to it.
When you look up at the clouds on a summer afternoon, like, we were looking up just yesterday, Dawn went out and took some pictures, and she noticed something that I really hadn't cued in on. You probably think that it's just weather. Well, at least I did. Shapes drifting in the wind made of nothing but water and sunlight. But for decades now, our government and contractors, as we have learned from Lee Zeldin and the EPA and their disclosure that, they've been geoengineering for the better part of 60 years, have been loading these clouds with chemicals to make them rain or to make them go away. I guess that never really happens, does it, though? You figure that they can do it, but they don't, because they like the cloud cover. One of those chemicals is silver iodide, and it is used heavily in cloud seeding. It's sold to us as harmless. It's barely soluble, they say. We've been using it for years, and there's no proven harm. But I'm here to tell you, the truth is much more complicated than that, because silver iodide is not just a raindrop starter. It's a biocide, an industrial antimicrobial, and when it falls back to Earth, it doesn't just disappear. This is what I'm talking about. Bang. Dawn took this video yesterday, and you can see these clouds are it's almost like they're melting. They're just falling apart. That is very, very interesting.
Yeah, they weren't like chemtrails that we talk about. You just see all these fluffy clouds and then this melting underneath it.
Exactly.
I just thought it was really strange looking.
It is very, very strange looking. And you see it on all of these clouds. Now, she's been pointing this out for, about 2 months now? You've been talking about the clouds melting, coming over the mountains and that sort of thing. Here is another video, and this is a little bit closer. And you can see, literally, these clouds are coming apart. That is not normal. That's not normal cloud behavior.
Right? All fluffy on the top and melting on the bottom.
Exactly.
Party on the front.
Yeah, exactly. Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. It's almost like the mullet man is turning the clouds into mullet heads.
Yes, that's right.
And here is a little picture, and you can see these are just starting. And this was a beautiful picture that really shows what's happening is the clouds are literally turning into vapor. So silver iodide is a yellowish crystalline compound, and it has one very special property. Its crystal structure is almost identical to ice. That means if you spray it into the cloud, water molecules will stick to it and start forming ice crystals. Do it enough, and you can trigger rain or snow. That's why cloud seeding companies like Weather Modification Inc. and Rainmaker and North American Weather Consultants have used it for decades. It's written into state water agreements. Ski resorts use it to boost snowpack, and in some cases, it's used to dissipate clouds after big public events. But here's what they do, what they don't put on the brochure. Silver iodide contains, of course, silver. And silver ions are one of the most toxic substances to microbial life in nature. You wonder why we're not seeing bugs or bees? You're wondering why the plants won't grow? Well, there's no microbes to help them. That's why silver is used in hospital dressings, water filters, and antimicrobial coatings, because it kills bacteria, fungi, and even algae. At least the rivers are not suffering from algae around here. That's because we are dumping this stuff down. The question is, when you put this in the sky year after year, where does it go? And what does it do when it gets there? We're going to talk about this right now because that human health factor, I think it warrants a deeper look. The official line from the agencies like the World Health Organization and the EPA is that silver in drinking water should be kept to about 0.1 milligrams per liter. They say the main human risk is agria, a permanent gray-blue skin discoloration from long-term silver buildup in the body. We've seen this with oh baby, what's that thing? Colloidal silver. People who abuse colloidal silver, their skin will turn that color. At the levels measured in most cloud seeding areas, they tell you, they being the government, the very people that we pay to protect us, will tell you it is far below that limit. But here's the issue. Those measurements are mostly short-term snapshots. They're not looking at bioaccumulation in people who live their entire lives in seeded watersheds where snowpack and rainfall have been dosed for decades. Silver binds to proteins and accumulates in the tissue. We have almost no large-scale independent studies. As a matter of fact, zero that I could find on the long-term low-dose exposure from aerial silver iodide operations. And in toxicology, what you don't measure is often what matters the most. Let's take a look at microbial life in the aquifers, the aquatic life. I am shocked that people don't look at these ecosystems. They can't speak for themselves, the microbes. Silver ions attack enzymes and membranes and bacteria, plankton and algae. And incidentally, baby, what is that stat that I am so fond of lately about plankton? 60%. That's right. 60% of the world's plankton is gone. That should absolutely set your hair on fire.
Sue Pear says she uses colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver, yeah.
Yeah, when she's sick.
Yeah, it helps. It's good. But colloidal silver is different. It's very bioavailable, and it washes through your system.
Yeah, Vectum gargles with it.
There we go. Vectum.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is not, however, silver iodide, which is toxic. Mm-hmm. And, I'll tell you, silver is sold to us as something that is, you don't worry about it, but we have to. In lab studies, even at concentrations around 0.1 milligrams per liter that they say is safe, silver iodide disrupted photosynthesis in phytoplankton and slowed bacterial growth. At higher levels, it's going to be lethal. What does this matter? Well, because microbes and plankton aren't just pond scum. They are the very base of the food chain, the oxygen factories of our waters. They feed the fish, which feed the birds, which feed us. You want to know why the birds are dying? Because they're getting too much silver. We've lost 30% of our birds, 60% of our bees. We have no bugs this year, none. But, I mean, we're going on months that I don't think I've seen a mosquito.
Quit playing with Mother Nature. Leave her alone.
Oh my God. Disrupt that base layer and you ripple stress through the entire ecosystem.
Mike Freeman says Obama did that to plankton.
It doesn't surprise
Don't get
me.
started with that.
Yeah, exactly. Obama was first of all, not a U.S. citizen. Let's just say, gay man with a transsexual wife, and that's fine. If
Just
they
be honest.
ran on that platform, hurrah! I wouldn't have voted for him. But I'm just saying, be real. If you have to lie to get into a position of power, then you are bad to begin with.
Yeah.
So the Marleys were dead to begin with. I can't wait for Christmas. Some people call it Xmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And silver doesn't vanish. It can bind to sediment, linger in soil, and be re-released during floods, droughts, or change in water chemistry. Now, just take a look at the massive amounts of floods that we have had. I mean, we're setting records by the minute with the flooding that's going on because they are doing this exact type of work in the sky. They're seeding the skies. And when silver is too expensive or if a company runs out of money, they put aluminum up there because aluminum does a really good job and it's cheap. When silver iodides settle to the ground, most remain insoluble, but not all. Rain, acidity, and natural weathering can slowly release silver ions into the soil. That can suppress beneficial soil bacteria, the ones that help fix nitrogen or break down organic matter and protect plant roots from pathogens. Over time, it reduces the microbial diversity and can weaken plant resistance and alter soil chemistry. And because many crops depend on that living soil, any change in the microbiome has downstream effects on agriculture and food security. You see where I'm going with this? Is this a depopulation effort under the guise of we're helping the farms, the big farms and big power, right? Big power up here up in the Northwest, we have all these hydroelectric dams. Well, those dams have been running for many years, doing just fine. We don't need extra. What we need is less waste of our money and quit killing us. So
Pretty basic right there.
I would think it is. The data gap and why it matters, well, I'm telling you, that is something else that we really need to take a look at. Here is the kicker. The longest running monitoring program in the U.S. and Australia admit they find silver in snow and rain, but at trace levels. What they don't have is data on what happens when you stack decades of trace exposure in the same region, or what happens in small alpine lakes and soils that don't flush out metals quickly. Agencies claim there is no environmental health concern at all. Trust us, they say. It's silver. It doesn't hurt. It's fine. But current levels are a moving target. And when geoengineering programs are expanded in scale, well, that's when we really, really have to worry. So when officials say silver iodide is safe,
maybe once in a while, but not every friggin' day.
Exactly. What they really mean is it hasn't been proven dangerous yet, and they're not going to prove it. They're not going to do these studies because they don't want to look at what the cumulative bioaccumulation is. That is not the same as saying it's harmless. What they're saying is we've stuck our head up our or in the sand, and we will not take a look at it. Turncoat Tammy Nichols, Senator Turncoat Tammy Nichols, right here in Idaho. She is all in on the silver iodide. Spray that in the sky as much as you can. She says we've got to separate, and that's not geoengineering. That's not weather modification, babe. You have to understand, Miss Dawn, when you force a cloud to drop rain, it's not weather modification. The government says so. Turncoat Tammy Nichols, senator right here in Idaho, says it's just cloud seeding. I don't know. I was just picked out of the field and put into this position. Exactly.
Right.
Just complete moron. They're holding a seat down. That's all she's doing. Collecting a small, minuscule paycheck, and then she makes it up on the back end with people putting money into her campaign, and then she lives like a queen. I don't know that she does. I'm guessing because she's not smart enough to have that position, but she allows for cloud seeding. She pushes it because she's in bed, both figuratively and who knows, but figuratively, she's in bed with the power companies and big ag. Mm-hmm. We had scandal in her past, so I won't bring any of this up.
So those big fluffy clouds I saw the other day with the melting bottom, that's from cloud seeding. Obviously, it's not from an airplane going by because they were just too big and fluffy.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And if you don't see it's raining down. Planes or anything seeding the clouds, then it is probably a cloud seeding generator. And let's take a look and see what that looks like, because I've got a picture right here and we can pull that up right there. So this is a land-based cloud seeding generator, and it does very much the same thing. We're not actually allowed to know what all is in this. Right? They fill these, they buy these canisters, and then they have them release silver iodide, but who knows what else, into the atmosphere. It destroys the cloud, essentially, and makes it rain all at once. And then it destroys the atmosphere while it's, while you're at it. So, I don't know. It just,
that's the cloud seeding thing. That's what Dorico uses.
No, Augusta Dorico uses cloud seeding drones. Can you look that up for me and send me something? This is a compound that by design kills microbes. It can accumulate in soils, affect plants. We've talked about this. Aquatic ecosystems. And when we're putting it into the atmosphere on purpose, year after year, week after week, day after day, without truly knowing the long-term consequences, I find it reprehensible. It's repugnant to the Constitution. Yeah. Thank you, Ann Vandersteel, for that term. I really love it. If history teaches us anything, it's that dismissing environmental risks until the damage is undeniable is a recipe for disaster. Leaded gasoline, asbestos, DDT, they all were safe until they weren't. So the next time you hear about cloud seeding for drought relief or enhanced snowpack for water storage or ski resorts, they need that. Remember, there's more in the clouds than just water, and the fallout could be closer to home than you think. What are they saying in the chat over there? Yeah. Well, you're doing your job. You're doing great.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. I could find all articles about them, but I couldn't see the.
Okay, I'm going to go cloud
I have
seeding.
I see a drone. Anyway.
Okay. Oh,
Beckham says must be a trigger in the cockpit or remotely.
Well, absolutely. I have no doubt that there is remote triggering. All right, here is a cloud seeding drone. That is a beauty. So this is probably the kind of stuff that our friend Augustus Dorico at Rainmaker uses, or any of the other companies.
So if he hangs there and disputes it out, it could make a nice fat cloud. Turn it off, go a couple hundred yards, put out another fat cloud.
Exactly.
So it looks. Because I'm trying to think, like we're all pointing out these cloud, lines. It's very obvious. But when you see a fluffy cloud, you're just like, oh, there's a fluffy one.
Right.
But maybe that's their way of disguising it. Now, you have to really look at those fluffy ones. Is it melting? If it's melting, it's not real.
Exactly. If it is melting, it's absolutely not real. It's being affected by a toxic metal that will affect you and probably end up killing some people with weaker immune systems.
Yeah, Mary Magna said, no, look at how it looks like a circle shape in the sky. So yeah, now they can puff out these little puffy clouds, and then they start to melt.
Oh, if this thing, I mean, let's say that this is 5 or 6 feet in diameter, right? You would not see that up taking care of the clouds. And especially when they use the solar radiation management and the stratospheric aerosol injection to completely cap the sky in white. If this little thing just zips by, inside the clouds, you wouldn't know it. Not at all.
And I find they're doing it mostly just before dawn, so it's dark.
Oh, it's just absolutely dreadful what is going on. So, yeah, the cloud seeding at work. I'm just going to page through this. Another cloud seeding generator right there.
Human Being says they got to get their quota by 2030.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another drone that they use. They absolutely do. This is how our government shines us on, pulls money. Who do you think pays for this? Well, it's you and me. It is not big agriculture. They don't have to pay for it. It's
didn't
not
consent it.
Big power. Yeah, we didn't vote.
Where was the vote?
Nobody asked us. But Turncoat Tammy, boy, she sure is on that. She loves the drones because she's probably taking a little behind the back, down on the down low, getting that good money on the down low. And here is a senator that absolutely refuses to be transparent, and then all she ever does is use the word transparent. It just...
when they use that word,
exactly.
It's opposite day.
Well, I mean, Kamala Harris used it a ton, right? Goof-filled sock puppet Joe Biden, yeah, he loved to try to spew that out, but his word was... There we go. Old Joe, good old Joe. So Hillary Clinton loved the word transparent. Is she even alive? I saw a thing today saying that she might not be alive. I might bring that up. Let me see if I can find that, because...
Why do you say that?
Well, there was rumors for quite some time that she had died. Do you remember when they pulled her? Can you find that video when she
passed out?
Yeah, they were all standing there, and okay, so here we have Hillary Clinton has a body double. There we go. So this is Inside Edition. Let's see if we can.
Is lighting up with conspiracy theories claiming this is not Hillary Clinton, but a body double.
Ooh.
Hillary seemed in good spirits as she emerged from her daughter Chelsea's apartment Sunday after collapsing at the 9/11
there it is. I
memorial
got a
ceremony.
video.
Oh,
But the Twitterverse erupted. Nose looks very different. This isn't Hillary. Another conspiracy theorist noted the absence of any obvious Secret Service agents close by when Hillary walked out of Chelsea's apartment building.
Yeah, that's not
Some
Hillary Clinton.
citizen sleuths claim the woman emerging
do you
from
guys
Chelsea's
in the
apartment.
chat, do you guys think that was Hillary Clinton, or is are we being lied to again? I spent about 5 years working as an executive protection specialist, a bodyguard, for lack of a better word. And we protected dignitaries and the top of the top Boeing executives. We protected the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and he had leukemia. And he came to Seattle twice, and you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week till the job's done. Normally it's about 3 or 4 months at a time. And about halfway through the second tour, immediately they brought him in because he had left early the time before and then came back with a worst case of leukemia, and they put him on a ventilator, and they amassed a lot of publicity over in Saudi Arabia. People were asking, where is he? Because he's also the head of Riyadh, which is like the big city over there. All of a sudden, we have the Crown Prince laying in bed, and his body double is running around Saudi Arabia making appearances all over the place.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah, and so they actually do plastic surgery on them. They get somebody that has the same facial structures, bone structures, and everything, and then they'll do plastic surgery to make their face look more like like whoever. And
Why would anyone want to look like Hillary Clinton?
well, I bet they pay her. And Hillary's dad, if you'll remember, right? He was a complete monster. He took over Al Capone, for Al Capone once Alfonso headed out to Alcatraz.
Mm-hmm.
So
human beings says ventilators kill. They certainly do.
Oh my God! 3 days on a ventilator, a week. The Crown Prince was on it for almost 2 months.
Right.
And finally, they were like, "Yeah, just pull it." And I mean, it was there's no coming back from it. This is what happened with COVID, right? The first thing you do, as soon as somebody comes in and says they have COVID, or they get one of these fake tests, and the tests do or do not. And we're hearing now that doctors would actually prescribe or say that people had COVID because they got like $49,000 if they were treating a COVID patient during COVID. So everybody had COVID. And the first thing they do is give you remdesivir, and that shuts down your kidneys and your liver. And then your lungs start to fill up with water. And so what they do is, rather than treat you with antibiotics and pull you out the remdesivir, they put people on the breathing machines, right? Ventilators. I mean, all of a sudden, now all you're doing is stacking up bodies. That's, I mean, it is absolutely evil, completely and utterly evil. And why isn't, baby, can you answer this for me? Why isn't Anthony Fauci and his wife and everybody connected to this? Why aren't they in chains right now, busting big rocks into small rocks, waiting for their execution date? How is this not happening? Am I living in an alternate universe? I think I am. It does not compute. I don't know. I simply do not understand how the administration that we voted in absolutely refuses to arrest anyone. Hillary, James Comey, John Clapper, Samantha Powers, Valerie Jarrett, President Obama, right? President Obama has immunity, but you can arrest him and hold him. Good Lord, they arrested.
Prove that he's not a citizen.
Yeah, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, anybody with the last name Biden, there's like 60 of them that are just complete and utter criminals. How are they not? Kamala Harris's nutless, absolutely coward husband. How are they not arrested? Tim Kaine. I'll tell you why isn't Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, why isn't he arrested? He literally allowed the assassination attempt on Donald Trump up there in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Human beings says because they're all in on it.
They are all in on it. That's what it's starting to seem like. So
is Trump in on it because he's not arresting them?
Yeah, boy, I don't know. Trump has his hands full keeping us out of a thermonuclear war. It's tough as it is for me to run a show every day and deal with the movement, do all the other things in my life as well. I cannot imagine. I simply can't imagine. We've got trade deals, we've got Russia, we've got the Middle East, we've got so many different situations going on, wars on two fronts. We've got China now making overtures against Taiwan again. We just, Donald Trump absolutely has his hands full. And so the question is, why isn't the people that he put in positions to do this, why aren't they doing it? Why isn't Pam Bondi? Why are we being out and out lied to about Epstein and about P. Diddy, right? Sean Puff Daddy Combs, great name for an adult. So why aren't we arresting any of their client list?
Jen says anyone evil is protected.
Yeah. Oprah Oprah fed young boys and girls coming into Hollywood, some really young, to Harvey Weinstein. She did it with, she did it with any number. Rose McGowan, I think, accused Oprah, was one of the first people. Was she one of the first? I forget.
Mary Maga says Congress is useless.
It is, but Congress should be useless because we, the people, have been asleep at the wheel. We need to absolutely put our foot on the gas and get the hell to our voting precincts. We need to replace the morons that have taken over and put good people, good hard-working people in office. I would rather see some Texan that runs a ranch as the president of the United States rather than a politician. That's my take on it. What are they saying over there in the chat, baby? Dawn?
Arrest Oprah. I'd be fine with that, Beckham says. Mary Mag says they hold the purse strings, fail.
But
and JSHW says term limits.
Term limits is a must, and they always talk about it. They talk about it until they get into office, just like Turncoat Tammy Nichols here, senator here in Idaho. We need to primary her. She needs to be out, gone. There we go. You don't do the people's bidding. If you go in and all you're interested in is rubbing elbows with the people that have money, you don't get to stay in office. You don't get that. My nose itches. Brad Little is a complete bought and paid for governor. We need a better governor. I think somebody needs to step up and run for governor here. All right, where are we? So let's now that we've moved on to politics, let's talk a little politics. I'm going to play a little clip before I get to
hot under the collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, you're just preaching, boy.
Well, I'm doing what I can.
Standing on that soapbox.
That's exactly. I love the soapbox.
Look at the clouds.
Oh, hold on. I'm on my wrong.
Trump has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in regions near Russia in response to threats from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. And this is that post there from Truth Social on your screen. He says, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that.
There we go. So we have 2 nuclear submarines, very powerful. We have the most powerful army on the planet. And trust me, our submarines are second to nobody, heads and tails above the technology that Russia or anybody else has. That said, even an old nuclear submarine is extremely dangerous. Submarines are the most dangerous weapon on the planet. You can't find them. So they can literally sit off the coast, just like they did under Obama. As soon as Obama said anything about the Chinese, they popped one up and launched an ICBM 150 miles off the coast of Los Angeles. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was about 2 weeks into Obama's first term. How we got there, I have no idea. But John McCain, I blame him, and that's a piece of trash there too. But that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So you're watching the headlines and you're thinking, what is with all these trade deals? I think Trump has something going on here. And it's hammering out one after another, lightning fast. Brazil, South Korea, and even smaller nations you rarely hear about in the news. We're almost to a trade deal with China. Wouldn't you know it? Some folks think it's just about lowering tariffs on U.S. beef or getting better deals on electronics. But I believe there is a much deeper play here. A high-stakes game of economic chess aimed at the Kremlin itself. Here's the very hard truth. Vladimir Putin, his war machine doesn't run on ideology alone. It runs on money, parts, and fuel. And if you can't, if you can dry up those 3 things, revenue, resupply, and public morale, you can put the Russian Federation in a stranglehold without firing a single shot. That is what I think Donald Trump is doing. That's why I see it has its hands full. Getting the Epstein people is absolutely not on his mind, because he's literally saving the planet from being put in a gigantic barbecue.
Beckham says, I believe he let Putin know he was going to announce that we all should know there are Russian sub nukes off our shores.
We have to have that understanding that we are probably continually surrounded by nuclear subs from foreign countries. So yeah, I think that that is absolutely the truth. And so, with that said, I think it would behoove us to stay out of an effing war, right? So here's my theory. Trump is setting up a trade framework where countries get access to the U.S. market, but only if they enforce strict sanctions and export controls on Russia. Think about the leverage. You're a small to mid-sized economy. The United States is your biggest, most profitable, and sometimes only customer. Do you really want to risk losing that access to sell a few tanker loads of diesel to Russia? Probably not. Or to ship them a bunch of semiconductors through the back door. That is the stick and carrot. You get the carrot of the U.S. market access, but the stick is hanging right over you, right over your head there. Break the rules, and your preferential tariffs snap back instantly. And Trump's already signaling this with his tariff threats. I have an article here as Exhibit A. As Exhibit A. Trump says Russia faces tariffs in 10 days if no progress on ending Ukraine war. That war has to end. That's just getting us, really, it's breaking our backs. It's breaking America's back. It's making billions, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars every month for the warmongers, for the military-industrial complex. Some countries have been told point blank, if you keep helping Russia bypass sanctions, you're going to face 100% tariffs on your goods. That will cripple a country. So here are the mechanics. I think that the big question is, how does this work? It's not just about cutting off direct trade with Russia. It's about closing the leakage points. Export controls, making sure chips, machine tools, and advanced optics don't slip into Russia's hands through third-party countries like Turkey, Kazakhstan, or the UAE. Energy caps, enforcing the G7 oil price ceiling by locking down shipping and insurance rules. So Russia can't just sail its dark fleet into every free port and sell oil at a full price. Financial choke points, hitting the banks, brokers, and shippers that launder these transactions through shell companies. Shell companies, just like the 75 shell companies that the Biden family had. Why? Pam Bondi, she's not saving the world. Her job is to arrest these people. Right. Cash Patel isn't doing anything. Dan Bongino's pulling what Harry has left out. If those measures are tied into every trade deal, every single new trade deal that we make, then a partner company has absolutely no choice. Enforce the rules or lose the U.S. market. That is what it boils down to. And that's a choice most governments don't want to face. So they go along to get along with the United States of America. And that is why this tariff approach is working miracles. And baby, did I say it's working miracles? Because I think it's working miracles. Now,
Texas Americana says, I lost it.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was Mary Maga. China wants us at war with Russia. If Russia and America joins forces, China loses.
Well, China's lost anyway. China has 10 more years, and then their country ceases to exist. Their one-child rule and the fact that they got rid of all the female babies and just kept men has destroyed that country. Mao Zedong completely destroyed that company, and what's his name running the country now? I mean, he literally He's got a bag of rocks. That's all he has. China is, they know they're devastated. Japan too. I mean, Japan is, they have such a declining population. You need 3.2 kids, 3.3 kids, something like that per family in order to just keep your population where it is. They don't have that. One child per family. Nah, it's just, and then of course the COVID shot and then all of that. There's nobody left to work to do the job, and they have entire cities that they built. This is just crazy. Babe, can you look that up? Miss Dawn, can you look that up? The Chinese cities that they have just, they're sitting empty.
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen those. Also, Texas Americana says, I don't regret voting for Trump, but I'm mad at him for not stopping weather mod.
Yeah, I am. He could do it with an executive order, but I think that what he's leveraging, what he looks at is there's about $4 trillion that we know of that comes out of the taxpayer fund that goes into weather modification in all sorts of different ways. Everything from NextRad to Doppler, 4G, 5G, HARP, paying Raytheon down in the Antarctica, cloud seeding, right? There's just too much money. Getting rid of the very, very toxic fly ash and putting that into the jet fuel. That is that's just money that I don't think he's willing to take out of the economy right now, because it could devastate the economy. Here's my point. I could give a rat's ass if it does. We're killing people. Not today, right? People don't just fall over dead, but it is that buildup. Inflammation causes all sorts of secondary problems, and then people die of heart disease. They die of dementia, and you're gone. I mean, really, with dementia, like Lewy body dementia. Look, we had a president that was completely gone, and he wasn't even the real president. I don't believe that was the real president. But here, I got it right here. China's ghost cities. And this is, it is shocking what goes on there. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah. So I think that Donald Trump is kind of playing it safe, keeping this around. All right, here we are. Let's see what they have to say about this.
The streets are without traffic, and chilling silence emanates throughout the area. These are the scenes of China's ghost cities. These streets resemble abandoned or evacuated cities from a zombie or nuclear apocalypse movie. But nobody even lived here in the first place.
Ever.
China's economic plan to build into oblivion has transformed it into the world's second biggest economy in a short space of time. But do these empty cities show the ugly side of this economic boom? Let's take a look. Number 1, Ordos. The whole city feels like a post-apocalyptic space station straight out of a science fiction movie. The words of photographer Raphael Olivier when speaking about the Chinese ghost city Ordos in northern China. In the early 2000s, China experienced a coal mining boom and was awash with cash. Expecting a huge economic boom, they built an entire new city named Ordos, which was anticipated to be the home of 1 million people.
Crazy.
10 years later, hardly anyone had moved over. Ordos New Town was very close to Ordos Old Town.
I'm telling you, it's this kind of stuff right here that really, I mean, this is why China doesn't have a chance. You don't have enough of a population to fill these cities, and it's not city. And you see some cars and stuff driving in these videos. I've heard that those are old videos, and that now they are just absolutely abandoned. Entire cities. Perfect for post-apocalyptic movies, though. I wonder if they're shooting movies there. Babe, how we say, where is it, right? I bet it's something just like that right there.
Spectrum says China got greedy and now they're gonna be get dead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, China doesn't have. I mean, really, China does not have a chance of survival at this point. Not the China that we know. Not that they can't. They won't be able to staff a military, right? So. Yeah, I think that they need some sort of a deal with the United States. So let's talk results. Russia's ability to raise war depends on keeping its military stocked ammunition, missiles, drones, and tanks. Those all require components, chips, precision bearings, avionics that Russia simply can't make at scale domestically. They've been getting them through cutouts in their countries. Shut that pipeline down, and their weapons program slows to a crawl. The same goes for energy. Oil and gas exports are the Russia's states. That's their lifeline. And if you make it harder to sell, insure, harder to ship, harder to find buyers outside of the sanctions that you build in the coalition, well, the revenue drops precipitously. See that word, baby? I used a big word there. That revenue funds everything from military salaries to propaganda to the nuclear arsenal. Shortages, less meat, less grain variety. No spare parts for cars or appliances. The domestic pressure on Putin ramps up like crazy and fast. It's not the same as a tank battle, but economic warfare can force strategic results. We have to talk about the risks, though. It isn't risk-free. If the coalition is too small, Russia will just lean harder on China, India, and a few Middle Eastern partners that fill the gaps. If enforcement is weak, the whole thing becomes, window dressing. And if prices for energy or food spike too high, some allies might start quietly breaking ranks to protect their own populations. That's why the deals have to be airtight, rather. Automatic penalties, very quick updates to control lists, real-time shipping, and customs monitoring. No wiggle room. So if my theory is right, and this is just my theory, I could be wrong. I'm not, but I could be. What we're seeing isn't random trade diplomacy. It is a deliberate prelude to an economic chokehold on Russia. Trump's playing a very long game here. Use American markets access as a weapon, make the coalition so valuable that no partner wants to defect, and cut the flow of cash, fuel, and parts to keep Putin's war machine running. If it works, it won't just weaken Russia's conventional military, it'll also make the nuclear saber rattling less tempting, because the Kremlin would know that every escalation risks losing everything that keeps their economy afloat. And that, my friends, is a battle without bullets. But the stakes are high. That's my theory. That's how I would do it. Baby, how would you do it?
Really?
I just thought I'd ask. What are they saying over there in the chat?
Well, they're mostly talking about detoxing and not listening to you.
I don't blame them. Good God.
Yeah, they were talking, you will detox bad stuff out of our foods, but Global Healing has one too. They're just talking about detoxing.
And they should, because detoxing from silver iodide that they're using to take these clouds out is very important. We need to be very cognizant of that. Look at these clouds. The clouds are literally coming apart. And what they're coming apart with is a toxic metal that will kill you. So it's not too far off to have that as a primary concern, even if I'm talking about what is going on with the trade deals and why we are not shutting down the geoengineering here at home. So yeah, let's detox. I think what we need to do is find a company that detoxes. And then the Clear Skies movement, we will make a deal with that company for a huge, huge price discount. Yeah. And we will absolutely fill up their waiting rooms.
Pectum says, I see results of the bioweapon injections multiple times every song's day, from mental incompetence to physical disability to dead.
Yeah, it is. It also has drug a wrecking ball through the fertility of our country. And we can't rule out, when you damage somebody with autism or with their brain's ability to operate in any way, suddenly that puts a massive amount of burden on that family, and it's horrifically expensive, very, very expensive. So that's the kind of thing that really needs to be addressed.
Fasting, they're also talking about Dan, aka Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
No food, only water and cigarettes.
Hey, there we go.
That's
Nicotine,
a good priority.
I'm telling you, nicotine has its place.
Yeah, but not a cigarette.
We'll see. We'll just see.
And he does that for 3 days. Yeah, 3-day fastings are very good for you.
Yeah, they really, absolutely, they are. I think that we need to eat less as a population. And we also need to be very cognizant of what they are injecting, pigs especially, and pork is like my favorite food group. Well, pork and steak, and chicken, and turkey and fish. But and rabbit, if it's done well. I don't know if you've ever had rabbit, but if you have rabbit, it has to be stewed. And go to the South, and there's a way that you make your base that you're going to cook that rabbit in, and it'll turn out just absolutely incredible.
So delivery driver, he mentions Marguerite Taylor Greene every day.
There we go. Good.
And he goes, I'm ready for an email campaign when they return from their recess.
Yeah.
Probably September. So maybe we can organize something like that and do
We certainly will.
Email.
We absolutely will.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I am in the process of getting our nonprofit started, and it's not easy. We're getting a 501c3 and a 501c4. It is it's not cheap and it's not easy. I don't know why attorneys don't work for free. Do you, babe? That certainly would help. But we've got some really good help, and I'll just put a plug out there for my Substack. Also, go to my Substack or go to our website. And let me bring our website up here so everybody can see it.
And I think it was Sue wanted trucker hats. There's trucker hats on there now.
Trucker hats, Sue. We got trucker hats now. So
DPSF 98 says, I read that Trump is trying to do something about geoengineering. Him and Kennedy are working behind the scenes. Well, We'll see. Well, you're on the panel, so hopefully you'll hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Wednesday, I'll see if we can get a question in.
Trucker hat right there.
So there we go. We got trucker hats now.
Different colors.
Yeah, you got to love that. Baby, you do such a good job.
Yeah, well, you can see there's some colors missing. I just noticed. So I got to go back and fix that.
Oh, well, that's nothing. All right. So take a look at my donation page also. If you guys could donate anything, it's not cheap doing this, and I really would appreciate any help. If not, you can go to my Substack and just go to my page and you'll see it pinned to the top of my page right there. Go to my Substack. If you can join for $5 a month, please do that. If not, just subscribe, because everything is free right now anyways. Our main goal is to get you information. So that is what we are doing. Let's see. I was supposed to post something the other day and I completely forgot what it was. So maybe Human Being, I know, mentioned it. And please forgive me. I've got like a bazillion things. I've never been so busy in my life. And I've done a lot of things. And I have never been so incredibly busy. I can't get everything done during the day. So some things do slip through my my fingertips. We're hoping that once we get the nonprofit, we can raise some funds and then hire an assistant that can start helping run this thing.
Yeah. You can actually do a show.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, he wasn't organized tonight. People, you're getting it from the hip.
Yeah, just shooting from the hip tonight. There we go.
If you're wondering why we're all over the board.
Well, we tied things in. I think that we did at least a decent job right there.
JSHW says, I love Alex Jones supplements as well. Mike from Infowars. Alex Jones store is the best. Well, ours is going to get good too.
Yeah. Oh,
it's going to get there.
Thank you for saying mean things to Miss Dawn.
It took me 3 weeks to do the damn thing.
Exactly.
I hate technology. Zeroengineering.com has really good template letters.
Phenomenal.
And all the emails, info for where to email your reps. And we'll have those too.
Yeah. We'll start getting all that information. We'll pipe it right directly in.
But for now, zeroengineering.com.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, geoengineering.com.
Yeah, sorry.
Phenomenal place. Also, 05G, right? Is it .com or .org? I think it's, is it .com or .org? ZERO. Oh, there it pops right up, so I didn't have to spell the whole thing. Yep, geoengineering.com. So I'll put this up right here. There we go. Great. I mean, it's a phenomenal resource. They just do such an incredible job. So I wonder if we can just pipe them in, because that sure would save us a lot of work in conjunction with them. I'll ask Susan. I'll talk to Susan Clark, see what she has to say.
Mary Magma says, I stumbled across an account, Alaska Sky Watcher. This guy is full of great information. He might make a great guest.
Well, actually, we have talked to him about being a moderator or an admin for our TCSM Alaska. And let's see, I think Babushka is talking to him, or LaShawn or Christy. So guys, let me know what's going on with Alaska Skywatcher. But yeah, it was just there. But here's the thing: there's so many great people out there that it fills me with such joy every morning knowing that, and to stumble upon people like that just are doing such a great job. And if they work with us, fantastic. If they don't work with us, fantastic. All we need to do is get the message out. It doesn't matter where it comes from. The Clear Skies movement, we just like building a family and working together. So you can lean on me, I can lean on you. We just kind of help each other. And that is the thing that I really, really appreciate about the Clear Skies movement. So we're not professionals at this, but we're learning every single day. I'll tell you that. I have never read so much in my life, and I actually used to like reading. Now I just read.
Right.
Yeah, but it's fun, and I truly love it. It can be exhausting sometimes, but that's just the way it is.
That is a nice website. The geoengineering.
Yeah, but I mean,
now
ours
I have
is
something
nice
to look
too.
for. Yeah, now I got something to work off of. But yeah, I definitely want to have all those templates for people on ours too, so they're not having to go everywhere.
Exactly. All right, I got to show you guys this. mRNA shots destroy 8.4% of non-renewable eye cells. A study of 64 young adults found irreversible structural damage to eyes, corneal endothelium after Pfizer's mRNA injection. I've never seen that word in my life. These cells do not regenerate. Damage is permanent and may lead to blurred vision or blindness. This technology is all done under the Emergency Act. It should not be on the market, and yet it's being shoved down our throats. They're spraying crops with RNA. That's getting into us. They're injecting mRNA vaccines, it's really high level of it, into commercial pig farmers. Buy your meat as close to your home as you can, or raise it. And I'll tell you, we are still looking at property for our 100 people that want to build an, I don't want to say off-grid, because we're going to create our own energy. I've looked into any number of ways to do that. But I love that idea, and I know a number of other people, and I think that we've got a handful of people that are willing to take a risk. I'm writing a plan for it. And I will put that plan up. Remind me, baby.
Where are
and
you
I'll
finding the
I'll
time?
finish that. I do as much as I can in the early mornings before I really get into phone call time. Baby, it's the phone calls during the day that really eat up so much of my time. People like to talk. I'm telling you that right now.
So do you.
I'm not. I'm a quiet human being. I barely say anything. You essentially talk the entire show.
Did you show them what you got today?
Oh, yes. Hold on. And I got my most humble trophy.
There you have it.
I got to figure out that smile, but there we go. So obviously, you know.
I was going to try to put not at the bottom, but there was no
Oh my
room.
God, there's no way you... Okay, first of all, Dawn knows that I am the most remarkable, humble person on the planet. There's no humble better than me, ever.
See?
And I don't think there ever will be.
I had a regret when I hit the send button to order it.
Oh my God, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Back to this. Dan, aka Brad Petty, says, I'm all ears, Sergey. I'm looking to relocate in near-term future, within a year.
Perfect. I am looking in Idaho because I have studied Idaho's laws, and you can essentially build and do whatever you want with the land here. There are some things that we do have to pay attention to, and it'll be a law-abiding place. But the vision is growing, and we're going to talk more about that. Maybe we'll talk more about that Sunday. All right, so I see. Yep, it is 8:30 and it's time for a drink.
Yeah,
Maybe you want to go?
birthday.
Yeah, the birthday drink. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please go over to my Substack, subscribe, leave comments, and can you guys take a look at my Spotify? I've got like one download on my Spotify.
Well, you just opened it a few days ago.
So, but we got a whole bunch of shows there. Thank you, everybody on Kick. Thank you, everybody on Substack. Thank you, everybody on OBBM TV. And thank you, everyone on YouTube. And, of course, thank you, everyone that is watching right here on X. For all of us, I'm Sergey Brown.
And I'm Dawn.
We'll see you next time.